We got champions for working people here. We got CWA and Good Jobs Mason. Indiana Regional Labor Council White River Chapter. And Jobs with Justice. Thank you all for being here. Everything you do every day for working people in Indiana.
And I'm here today to stand up for hundreds of call center workers just here in Indiana alone, tens of thousands nationwide. Like our brothers and sisters at GE, these are very hard-working middle-class Americans that thought that American companies would take care of American workers. At CWA, we are working hard to pass legislation here in Indiana and also in Washington that would save jobs and also protect consumers. That's one reason why CWA stood up and endorsed Liz Watson, because we know that she's going to carry our message to DC.
That's
and
right.
get these jobs back here in the United States. Thank you, Liz.
I'm going to turn it over to a good person that has decided to get involved in politics. She has got a long history of standing up for working class people. She was involved in the Fight for 15. She will fight for working class people all the way. Liz Watson has stepped out there, and she's going to step out and be a very, very good candidate and even a better elected congresswoman when she gets elected. Liz Watson is holding up for her.
Too many companies today are shipping our good-paying jobs overseas, leaving workers with decades of skilled experience behind. From Bloomington to Bedford, from Martinsville to Mitchell, we've watched good quality jobs at companies like GE, which is right behind us, RCA, and Otis leave our community. As the factory doors close, talented workers are scrambling for any job they can find. Does our representative Trey Hollingsworth understand that?
No. I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Does Trey Hollingsworth understand that the $7.25 minimum wage leaves Hoosier families living in poverty, even if they are lucky enough to get full-time work?
No!
Doesn't care.
He either doesn't understand or he doesn't care. As a congressional staffer, I worked on the minimum wage bill, the $15 bill in this Congress, and I'm very proud that it's been sponsored by my former boss, Congressman Scott and Bernie Sanders. Yeah. It has been 10 years since the lowest paid Americans got a raise. That is unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Congress needs to act immediately to pass the Raise the Wage Act. As good jobs have fled Indiana and fled America, Trump and Trey have not lifted a finger to do a single thing about it. Take the call center industry that we heard about here today. Nearly 250,000 call center jobs have been sent overseas in recent years. Those are good paying jobs that should stay right here at home. Yes. I stand with Senator Donnelly in his support for federal legislation that would keep our call center jobs in southern Indiana and in the U.S. And I stand in support of state legislation that would do the same thing.
Thank you.
That is the kind of support that working people here in southern Indiana deserve from their elected officials. I want a government that stands up for our families, that stands up for working people. We can do that by electing people who will reject bad trade deals that ship our jobs overseas, ensure that federal contracts go to companies that keep jobs at home, raising the pay of the lowest paid Americans, and investing in infrastructure and workforce training. Yeah. I am sick and tired of elected officials who turn their backs on the working class. I think it's time to send representatives to Washington who will hold up their end of the deal. It's time to send representatives to Washington who are gonna deliver for Hoosier families.
Yes! Give it up for Liz Watson! Candidate for Congress, Indy 9. Candidate for Congress, Indiana 9. I want to say she is a true champion for workers. She has spent her time in Washington pushing politicians to raise wages, pushing politicians to stop offshoring, pushing politicians to stop wage theft, pushing politicians to stand for pay equity. We need people like Liz Watson in the halls of Congress. Give it up again for Liz.